My heart was thudding 100 miles a minute, and the red glow from the lights was creepy as shit. My goal was fairly simple. I needed to get into the locked room I'd noticed on my first visit to the clinic and search the files. The room was at the end of the opposite hall past the patient rooms, made to look more like a janitor's closet than anything else, but I'd glimpsed the rows of file cabinets during my tour a couple of days before. I was halfway down the hallway when I heard a horrible moan. My heart stopped, and I turned around to run back from the way I'd come when I heard it again. And though it was horrible, it wasn't a death moan. I'd heard a few of those sounds over the past months. Back when I was having regular sex, I'd even moaned like that myself. From the increasing volume, I was guessing she was enjoying herself, whoever she was. Either that, or she was declawing a cat without anesthesia. To say my curiosity was piqued was an understatement. I'd never been very good at listening to the part of my mind that told me I shouldn't stick my nose where it didn't belong. I made my way closer to the sounds, hurrying my steps because it sounded like she was winding up for the finale, and I noticed the door was open a crack and light flickered from beneath. I meant to be quiet. I really did. But the sight that greeted me was enough to draw a gasp from my lips. A pair of familiar blue eyes met mine and widened in surprise. My own eyes narrowed, and I felt sick to my stomach as I took in the scene. It was worse than I could have imagined. The woman reached a climax, shrill enough to break glass, and the tension ratcheted up the temperature several degrees. A pregnant silence followed her cataclysmic orgasm, and I realized if I didn't breathe a little slower, I was likely to end up hyperventilating. "I should have known you'd show up here," Nick Dempsey said, closing his eyes and shaking his head in disbelief. "I don't suppose I could talk you into turning around and going back home so I can get this straightened out." I raised a brow and cut my eyes to the loaded weapon in his hand. "No, I don't think so." He sighed and put his gun away, reaching over to turn the TV off and the X-rated flick that had been playing. The smells of old sex and new death assaulted my senses, and I swallowed back the bile that rose at the sight of the body at Nick's feet. "At least you put on gloves when you came in," he said, nodding at my hands. "I'd hate to think you smudged the prints of whoever broke in." "Someone broke in?" I asked, guilt sending a rush of heat to my cheeks. "You didn't see the front door shot to shit and standing open when you came inside?" Sure I did. How could I have missed that?"